So this is a little different, and I'm aware of that. We haven't really ever played anything other than Minecraft on my channel. When I was debating playing the newest Satisfactory update, I was thinking either, let's start a new channel or just send it, see what happens. And I talked to some people, and I think what I've decided is if this goes well, then we'll just stick with it on the main channel. If not, then, if I get tons of people being like, this sucks, then maybe I'll move it to a different channel. That'll be all up to you. Now, I have played maybe like 400 hours of this game, and I thought with the release of the 1.0 version and the gaining steam, we might as well give this a shot. So let's create a new game and choose between these different starts. So there are different levels that we can do. So there's the grass fields, which is good for first-time pioneers. There's rocky desert, which is suitable for first-time pioneers, but probably not recommended. Then there's the northern forest, which would be good for more experienced pioneers. And lastly, the desert, which is recommended for advanced pioneers. Now, I don't actually think it changed the game all that much. It could just be the distance between resources and how often they are there, but starting out, it isn't too difficult, so it doesn't really matter. It just deems what I think is pretty. So obviously, this scene is really cool. You got tons of grass and a few trees. It's like a plains biome, essentially. Now, this rocky desert, or almost like an oasis area, is pretty good, but I don't really love the way it looks. Now, the northern forest does look pretty good. Location with many height differences and a few open areas. A lush building location with many height differences and few open areas, challenging conventional buildings and planning methods. Despite these challenges, it caught our eye to the richness of its resources. Now, the desert, I quite like deserts. I just think they look really cool. So what it says is, initially considered too risky, further investigation has convinced us that this area is viable for building with its large open space and plentiful mining location. Foliage and water locations are rare and contained to making initial power setups challenging, which I think I can handle. I think I can handle that challenge, and it's wide and open, and it wouldn't obstruct my building all that much. Now, one thing that you should realize is the map is always completely the same, regardless of the place that you spawn. So if we look across, all these things would be in the same world. So I can still, if I choose this last one, I can still go and visit this first one, or I can build things in this first one, or the second one, or the third one. So it doesn't really matter in the long term which one I choose. And as I like deserts, and it's wide and open, the only issue is water, which should not be a huge deal. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the desert. Now, my session name will probably just be something like Satisfactory. And then let's throw some capitalization in there, and we will call that good. We're going to do the onboarding process together, as some of you might not have played this game or heard of this game, but are checking this out anyway. Okay, Waz's Unsatisfactory Factory. Starting location, Dune Desert. Onboarding, no. Advanced game settings enabled, no. Session type, single player. Session joinability, none. Confirm.
Operation from main transport complete. Group A delivered to Calistian region.
Calistian.
All pioneers functional. Initiating dispersion.
Huh. My
Attention
drop pod
pioneer. I am Ada, your
is pretty
personal
cool.
instance of the artificial directory and assistant. Construct, automate, explore, and exploit. Stay within your designated. And that is why the world is counting on pioneers like you.
Okay.
Fix it.
I'm not sure what that
Short-term
was.
Solutions to long-term problems. Initiating planetfall.
Oh boy.
Atmospheric entry in 3, 2, 1. Beginning arrow assist. Drag within acceptable parameters.
Are you sure about that?
Descent phase begun. Decelerating. Deploying parachute. Deploying backup parachute.
There goes my parachute.
Skipping parachute.
Oh, no parachute altogether.
Landing phase
Okay.
begun. Activating retro propulsion.
Oh, and there it is. There is our very first Satisfactory world. I mean, on YouTube anyway. Ah.
Touchdown. Planetfall complete. Drop pod integrity nominal. Omni situational exploration suit nominal. Pioneer acceptable.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, I love the desert. A lot of people don't as much as I do, but
Congratulations. You are the third in your region to survive
I don't know.
planetfall. Welcome to Massage 2, ABB, in the binary system of Akicha. Loading objective-based introduction. Begin onboarding. First contact safety tool supplied due to presence of alien megafauna. Adhere to Fix-It procedure and equip the Fix-It Inc. Xeno Zapper before leaving the drop zone.
Xeno Zapper, so it's a taser. Always needed, I guess.
Next objective. Dismantle the drop pod. Fix-It Incorporated as cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste. The drop pod will be recycled to construct the first stage of the habitat and utility base, often referred to as the hub.
I'm good. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to come over here, and this is some iron, and I can get some iron ore from this. Hi. Okay, sir, please.
Samples of new alien species acquired. Notable features are blunt teeth, suggesting it is herbivorous, and a thickly plated skull and spine, suggesting it is proficient at inflicting and receiving blunt force trauma.
Yeah, you
Preserve
don't
the
say.
remains for later study.
Okay, well, that's taken care of, and we have some iron. Oh, do I actually have to take it apart? Man, they thought of everything. So if you don't know, this impure. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, you could, from getting the drop pod, or from disabling the drop pod, you can get 10 raw iron, which I already have. So I was hoping I could leave this here, but it appears like that's not the case. That's too bad. But I was really hoping I could get away with that. I mean, this would be a cool bit of thing to have in my world, if I could have done it. But it looks like, I don't know if I can find any way around this.
Next objective. Use the resource scanner to find and collect additional iron to be able to build the hub. If you cannot find iron, be assured scans of the planet have revealed sufficient iron sources.
Thank you, Ada. So we already have plenty of iron. I guess we should just immediately right in front of me. That's
Next
good.
objective. Use the build gun to construct the hub. Iron is a base component necessary for all near future progress, so ensure you build the hub close to iron sources. Fix-It does not pay by the kilometer.
There are 2 iron sources here, but I kind of want to work on a rocky surface, seeing as it is likely the flattest area that I can get. I think this one will do. Maybe not. That one over there looks kind of cool. It's got like a spire on it, but this one's kind of small. Give me a second. I mean, I can always go move around and get more iron resources. I want to find a decent flat chunk of sandstone. Now, I think I found the spot. I mean, this is relatively flat right in here, so it should do, but we got ourselves another friend. Oh, boy, you shoot fire. Thank you. I appreciate your remains.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Their weaponized plasma is most likely stored as a stable chemical substance in an organ close to their mouth, and only turns volatile when exposed to one of the chemical elements in the air. Preserve the remains for later study.
I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. We got quartz and caterium, but why don't we set up our hub? How about right there?
Hub foundation built. The hub terminal and crafting bench are only the humble beginnings of a successful Fix-It pioneer, but essential for the next steps of onboarding. Once finished, the hub will function as your base of operations. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 1.
Now, once we get a little bit further, we'll get biomass burners, which will allow us to create power from all of this biomass. So that's going to be a fun part of the game. Now, hub upgrades look about like this. You input resources and you get cool research things. And that looks like a sword with a hand on the end, and I want it. This only takes 10 iron rods. So let's collect some more this thingy. And we can use the iron. This is impure. Why am I stuck with impure iron? What about this one? This one is pure. Now, depending on the purity, it depends on how much it gives you per cycle. So the pure one was only giving me 1, but this one is giving me 3. Now that should do. That should get us some of our first drills, or portable miners, as I believe they are called. So all we have to do is come over here, and we can turn iron ore into iron ingots with 3 clicks of a hammer, and we just need 10 iron ingots. With 10 iron ingots, we can get 10 iron rods, which is the resource materials that we need. Now, the remaining tiers are much like the first ones, or the first one. You import resources and you get cool new bits and bobs.
Hub upgrade 1, storage and
Skip. Anyway, so this one will just take plates and rods, and like the next one will take copper wire and copper cable, and then limestone, and that will be the extent of the resources needed. But what we can do right now is, with the crafting of some iron plates and iron rods, we can make the equipment workbench, which just costs us some plates and some rods. Now the equipment workbench is it crafts things that can be used in your hand. So portal miners and xeno zappers, which we already have one, so we don't exactly need another one just yet. We might in the future, or I can almost guarantee you that we will. So a portable miner costs us 4 iron rods and 2 iron plates. Now give me a second. I want to craft a whole bunch of these so that I can place them all over the copper, or the iron and the copper outcroppings. The copper we have yet to unlock though. Okay. Skip. Thank you. I believe that unlocked our first biomass burner, which is the first bit of power that we get. Now, I believe that also unlocked the smelter, which does cost copper, which we need to set out for. Now that we have a bunch of these mobile miners, we can go ahead and get ourselves some copper. So if we just hit V here, and this one is copper down here at the bottom. Hit scan, and the nearest one looks like it's 100 meters that way. Now, 100 meters isn't all that much, so it should just be on the other side of this boulder. It is indeed. Hello, and discarded. Normal. That's acceptable. I'm trying not to get hurt, getting better at my combat. Hello, come say hi, please. 0 damage taken. And he went all the way over there. So let's clear out this copper chunk sticking out of the top of the rock here and start placing down 1, 2, 3, 4 of these little guys. And they are the cutest things. I want one. I want one in my life. But they will start to drill pretty quickly here. Now it's only 100 meters, so I can walk back and forth as much as I want. And we should probably start picking up some biomass for our biomass burners, because I think I want to wait a little bit longer until I start to automate some things. So Hub Upgrade 3 does involve copper wire like I thought, but still no copper plates just yet. But we do unlock limestone. So why don't we go put the other 5 portable miners over on this bit of iron, so we can start collecting some of these. Now, unlike non-portable miners, these guys can be you can place more than one on one spot. Awesome. So now that we have plenty, let's go collect some of our copper. Let's turn it into copper wire, and let's get this next hub upgrade going. Now, it actually looks like I changed my mind. I am going to make some smelters, seeing as that's just going to save me time, and teardown is incredibly easy. So let's just put one right there and one right there, and come over here, craft us some cable. 2 is all we need, and we can hook up ourselves. Whoops. Oh, we can only hook up 1 at the moment. Well, that's okay. Let's just select copper ingots, toss some copper in, and some leaves should start to produce us some copper ingots. Okay, limestone is acquired. And just like that, we have a bunch of drills going. This is going to be a very important resource because it's what we build our factories out of. So we're going to need a lot of it. So I'm going to sit here for just a second to farm up some, and we can get our next hub upgrade. And there's goes 4. There should be like 2 more Skip. Okay, we just finished up our final hub upgrade. So now we get to do a couple things. We can finally make some full automation, which means we get some new tabs. Base building is huge. I'm gonna do that before I do anything else, which just requires concrete, some plates, and some rods. Logistics, I will need that. That's less needed. Field research, hard assembly, optical clearing. Well, we're gonna need all of these things, but the very first is these two. These two will allow me to make a working factory. Now, my factory is going to be more modular than like batch crafting. So we're going to collect some resources and we're going to get enough that I can get both of these. Although some obstacle clearing could be nice in order to better fuel my bioreactors and to either get biofuel easier. So maybe we'll do those three. This one, and this one. Part assembly will come once we've automated all of this stuff, but you know, then we'll do that. So give me a second, I'll collect up some resources and we'll get those 3 chapters unlocked. Okay, here should be base building. Launch. Shut up, beta.
Milestone found in the...
Anyway, that's kind of cool. Our pod launches into outer space. Goodbye. Just 2 more times. Nothing worth showing, really. Okay, this is the last one that we need. Launch. Ada, shut up. We don't need you. Although I guess you gave me an inspirational note. Probably could have listened to what that said, but it's okay. We don't need to know. So we're going to start with some biofuel, as we're going to need it to power my chainsaw. And it is the first step to getting my thing automated. We should have plenty of plates to make some. I like even though these all cost the same, I like the 1 meter foundation. So I tend to bind it. It's 7 and 8 usually. But let's toggle build mode, sample building, quick switch, build menu, close, hide HUD, rotate hologram, lock hologram. I thought there was some kind of like straight build mode. Quick switch, build menu, hide HUD. Okay, well, let's go up to the highest part of this dune to make sure that we're getting good access. This is going to drain my resource pretty quick. So we're gonna go right here. See, I can make a 4x5 area to start it out with. I mean, that's not big. Factories are gonna get hundreds bigger, but this should do for now, I guess. We should probably automate concrete first. I'm gonna go ahead and build a bunch of these miner Mark 1s all around. So on these iron nodes, on my copper nodes, and on some limestone nodes, and I'm gonna start making a lot of resources very quickly. So let me bring the iron around first, and I'll walk you through that process. I'll walk you through the process of making iron plates and iron rods. And I guess iron screws. We'll do those 3 things. And then the other 2 are much, much easier. And it's a lot of the same principles. So, and building one of these miners is very easy. I just have to clear the space. And then I can just make a miner. It's big and big like this. I can point it towards my factory. And then the output slot is like such as. So I can just take my conveyor belt and it'll come out like that. And I can point it towards my factory like that. And boom, we got a conveyor belt. Of course, it needs power, which means if I had another rod, I would place down another pole and then I connect it to here. But now we have to actually start on our factory. So give me a second. Let me throw something together or let me get enough resources to build all the bits and bobs that we need to automate the iron production. And then, I'll bring you back, I guess. Okay, so we should have most of the items that we need. This is really going to take up most of our space. So it's going to be these first 3, and then I'm going to save this first one, concrete, as those are the resources that we need the most right now. So the very first thing we need is a couple smelters. We need exactly 2. So let's put the first one here and the second one. Now, no, it does need to be spaced like that. And then what we need is a conveyor splitter with the input slot like that. And then input, output, and then we're going to need to go back 2 from here. And then all my belts are straight. Now that is the smelters taken care of. We are going to need some power, which is the easy part. You just put down some poles. Now we're going to need some constructors, which means we need 4. I only brought enough for 3. 2. We are going to need 4. We're going to need 1 more to put right here to make the screws. But this one can go straight on through. This one could go straight on through if I had enough plates. Give me half a second. Now, a lot of what we do from here is going to be a carbon copy of what we are doing right now. So, bringing in resources to smelters, putting smelters into whatever these things are called, constructors, and, you know, doing basically all of this multiple times. So, that's about what everything's going to look like. So now the biggest thing that we need is to hook all of our machines up. So we are going to need to set this one to iron ingot and this one to iron ingot. And then this first one needs to be iron plates. And then it needs to be iron rods. And then this one also needs to be iron rods. Then this one will make us iron screws. Now that's about what everything should look like. So now we just need to hook everything up. So that hooks to there and that hooks to there. My smelters are now working, and we can steal the concrete from that one. It doesn't need it anymore. To take this one and put it in the middle of the ground here to hook up to these 2. Fuse blown. That's okay. We don't actually have to worry about that yet, or at the moment. We can do some unhooking and we should be fine. So then this one, I can steal some other concrete since we are actually totally out. And we can hook this one up to right here. And then hook up this machine and that machine. Now that everything is hooked up, let's go take a look at our power grid. So we are only powering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. Those can be unhooked. These 2 smelters. And is it because we are out of biomass perchance? It is, thank goodness. Oh, it wasn't connected. Now we should be able to turn this thing on. Power is, we're producing and we are consuming. Max can produce, yeah, we're good. Ooh, I think we're good. I'm hoping we're good. It might blow once resources start to make their way through. So right now, each of these makes 20 megawatts. So I have the capacity for 40 megawatts, and we're only consuming 29 at the moment. So we should be good to go ahead and do the same process for concrete. Copper will come in a minute once we started to build up some more resources. Bam, we got a chainsaw. This is kind of awesome. Chainsaws are great. And we can get biomass a whole lot faster this way. This is something that we will need to automate. Or not, we can't automate getting biomass. But turning raw biomass into actual biomass is probably a good way to go about it. Okay, fam, it looks like we got our very first factory working. So this is the iron thing that we made. So there's our plates, there's our rods, and there's our screws. Then we brought in some limestone, and we're making it right here. Pretty straightforward miner, constructor, container. And then copper is even simpler than iron is. It just goes into these 2 furnaces, smelters. This one makes copper wire. This one also makes copper wire, but then is turned into copper cable. And so that's our resource production. And then this is our power setup. We've got 2 storage containers, one for leaves and one for wood. Each of these are turned into biomass, and then into solid biomass, I think, biofuel or whatever it's called, which is then put into a container and then is split between 4 different biomass burners. So that's about what our factory looks like. See if I can get down without hurting myself. Too good, but this is what it looks like on floor level. Okay, fam, so this is what we were working with now. So it's pretty much the same, except I added a little bit of an extra system here for making plates, seeing as I didn't quite have enough for everything that I wanted, so I kind of tripled the system. Let me show you what we've got. What we got. So we got our initial plate set up here, and then we pulled out another line from our miner just by doing just a quick amount of reinforced iron plates the second it comes out of the thing here, and then put it to a splitter that could maximize the capacity of the miner, which then just went into smelters and constructors, tripling my production, which filled up my storages very, very fast. So here's what we got. We've got 1 and 2 full of plates. These ones are still filling up. We've got plates, we've got screws, and all this stuff is slowly working. So with the remaining amount of video time that we still have, I would like to very quickly complete all of the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 upgrades, along with quickly building the space elevator. Now, that does not take a lot of time, and we already have all the resources. I mean, all of this, we already have all this. I mean, we're missing these rotors, but 50 rotors is nothing. And we already did that one so that we could get the Mark II conveyor belt, which transports 120 resources per minute, twice what the Mark Is do, and this stackable conveyor pull, which is very convenient. But all of these resources we have, so this should not take us super long. Now, the other thing is the space elevator, which is just like a modest amount of resources. I mean, this is nothing compared to what we have. I guess I'll update you every time that I complete one of these upgrades. And then we'll come back for the space elevator before we finish up the episode. This will unlock us the MAM, the object scanner, the person blocks, along with some additional inventory slots. Launch. Here is the part assembly, which will allow us to create the assembler, which will allow us to craft things like the rotor, modular frame, smart plating, as well as the reinforced iron plate, along with copper sheets, which is kind of cool too. Launch. Here is the resource sink upgrade, which will give us the resource sink, which will give us the type of currency that we can use to buy crazy rewards, I guess, along with some build gun upgrades, which I guess we'll have to check out next time. So, launch. Okay, fam, so this will be our last upgrade, which is jump pads. Now, jump pads are just, they can launch you a distance. So let's select the milestone, input the resources, and launch. Okay, Ada, that's okay. So let's jump right into the space elevator, why don't we? We got all sorts of new bits and bobs, but the space elevator is really what we want. And we're missing just a little bit of wire and some plates, and then we can afford it. Plates are done. Let's grab ourselves some wire. More than we need, really. And line ourselves up with the middle, which is here. Grab the space elevator. Try to see if we can find a spot. Right about there. This is the space elevator. And I believe they redid the animation. It's a big old thing up in the sky that looks kind of cool with the blinking lights. Not exactly sure what that is up there. Something's happening though. Oh boy, okay. I think this is a little different. You can see a big old disc up in the sky. And great big locked in space elevator. Skip, 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 skip. We don't care at the moment. But what we do care about is looking at phase 1 of the space elevator. So this is when we're going to start needing smart plating, which doesn't cost very much, but we will wait for next episode to do so. So let's finish up. So this is our factory after the end of the first episode. I wish I'd do like a third person kind of thing, but I guess we'll do this instead. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.